Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to take a look at the first and second solo for November Rain. So Slash has some really nice stuff in this one, as always. Alright, so we're tuned down a half step as per protocol with Guns N' Roses. So we're going to start here with some bends on the B string here at the 8th fret. Alright, so hold that bend at the 8th fret, then pick it and release it, and bend it back. So on that second bend, you're going to grab the 8th fret of the high E string. And then pick that 8th fret and lower the bend on the B string. When you lower it, pull off to the 6th fret, and then back up with a couple bends and releases for that same 8th fret. So sometimes I'm bending it up and then kind of just picking it and lowering it back down. Just really use your ear. It's really just mostly on that 8th fret on the B string. So after that final, I went back to the 8th on the high E string. So obviously if you're playing this solo, you probably can follow along with what I just did. Then that half step bend and release at the 5th fret on the B to the 8th fret on the high E string. Then back to the 5th fret on the B string. Couple of bend and releases there on that just a half fret. Then you're gonna have this. That's pull off 7 to 5 on the G. Then slide into 9. Play 8 on the B. Slide back down 9 to 7 on the G. To the 5th fret. So we had this. So one more time. Back to some more bends on the 8th fret on the B string. So it's just like the first time we played it there until that part. And then we jump over to the high E string, 8th fret, pick it, and then do a whole step bend and release. Then up to the 10th fret, whole step bend. And that's 8, 10, 8 on the high E string. To 10 on the B, back to that 10 on the B, back to the 8 on the high E. Then slide into the 13th fret of the B string. Next phrase. Alright, so from there we have, you're just coming out of that. So you're at the 13th fret, go over to the 13 on the high E, pull off 13 to 12, and then back to that 13 on the B. Do that twice. Back to the 13 on the high E string, whole step bend, release, and then pick it, the 13 normal. Then 15 on the B, 12 on the high E string, 13. That's a quick little hammer pull between 12 and 13 on high E, back to 15 on the B. Then back up, 15, 12, 13, bend up that 13, then pull off 13 to 12, and then a half step bend and release on the 12. And jump up to the 20th fret on the high E string. Alright, next phrase. So that's you went to the 20th fret before, now you're at the 19th, hit it twice. 3 times actually, and on the 3rd time slide it down 2 frets to 17. Then now hit 17 twice, slide down to 15, 15 twice, slide down to 13, and then down to 12. And then that's just quick little hammer pull again between 12 and 13 on the high E to 15 on the B to 12, 13. Then we have this last little sequence. So that's a hammer from 12 to 13, and then another 12, 13 hammer, pull back off to 12, pull up to 10. Actually, you want to pick that 10 and come over to 13 on the B. So we have this. Then 12 on the high E, 13 on the B. From there, you're going to hammer pull 10 to 12, back to 10 on the high E. 13 on the B, back to that 10. Now we're going to do it again, hammer 12 to 13 on the B string this time. And then, then now we have 12, 13, kind of the same lick before, to 12 on the G. Instead of this. Yeah, this. Then you go 12 on the B, 12 on the G, then 10 on both strings. To 12 on the G. Then you start that little legato stroke. So we have this all together. So that little legato is hammering 10 to 12 on the G, back to 10, and slide down to 9. Let it ring to 13 on the B. And do that a few times. And that last one, slide into the 15th fret, doing a whole set bend on the B string. Grab 15 on the high E string, release the bend to 13 on the B. And then slowly, as the vocals come back in, you start putting the a little bend on there. So all together. It's easier to kind of pick up all those notes just watching somebody play through it slowly. All right, and then we have the second solo. It's a little bit shorter, but equally cool. Let me play through it real quick. All right, so we're gonna build up here on the G string, 7, 9, then 10, 12, then 14, 16, then 17, 19. Kind of resolve it to the 18th fret on the B. Now, a whole step bit at the 20th fret on the B. Grab 20 on the high E string. Then pick that 20 that was bent and bring it back down. Then slowly bend back up. And then grab that 20 on the high E again. You're gonna then 18, 17 on the B. Then a half step bend of the 19 on the high E. So all together. Alright, then we're gonna. Now that is a half step pre-bend at the 17th fret. So you always already want it to be pre-bent to half step. 17th fret on the B, release it, and then back up. And then we had this phrase right here. Alright, so we had this 19 on the G, 17, 18, 20 on the B, over to 17 on the high E string, back to 18 on the B. Alright, now we're going to go 20 on the B, 17, 18, 20 on the B. Then back to 17 on the B, half step bend up, then pick it normal. Good. Then 19th fret, that's a whole step bend and release of the 19th fret on the G, pull off to 17th fret, then pull off 19 to 17 again, to 19 on the D, back to that 17. Now we just have 20 on the B, back to that 17 twice. Then starting to pick up to that 20 again, 19 on the D, 17 on the G, back to that 20, and then back to the 17s, and then back up again. Just 19 and 17. So all together, let me play that part. Alright, and the last little phrase you'll see is this. Alright, so that's a whole step bend at the 20th fret. Then release it, just pick 20 normal. Then you're going to do a hammer on for 18 to 20, pull off to 18, pull off to 17. And then pick 18, so we have this. Now you're going to do a hammer from 17 to 18, pull back off to 17. To 19 on the G, back to that 17. So then the whole step bend of the 17 on the G, 20 on the B, and then pick that 19, release it, then play 17. Alright, so stay tuned for the last November Rain lesson. We're going to take a look at that killer outro solo. I'll see you then.